Welcome, welcome to Hold Their Feet to the Fire, a wonderful, wonderful event that has really helped make American history. This is a unique occasion. I think Steve Gill remarked that throughout the country this is virtually the only example of a radio row focused specifically on one policy issue. And it is symptomatic of the enormity of both the issue itself and the challenges facing the American people. And I want to salute, in particular, the courageous talk show hosts who have taken time out from their busy schedules to come and be a part of this historic event, one that is bigger and builds upon prior events that we've had similar to this in the future. This one is going to be hard to beat. Broadcasting from Radio Row over the next several days will be someone I'm going to be introducing in a few minutes, Roger Hedgecock from Kogo Radio, who's really the founder of the whole effort. Your listeners want to hear about this issue, and this is where they're hearing about it on your programs. Where are they not hearing about the issue? Well, not hearing about it much from there. They're certainly not hearing much about it at the conventions. And you have to wonder why that is. I mean, this is an issue people really are concerned about. People think it ought to be basic common sense that immigration should be controlled. Not a controversial issue if you look at the polls. So what is the problem? Well, the politicians tell us that the issue is polarized. I can't see where the issue is so polarized. In fact, the mainstream position seems to be our position. I would challenge anybody to find a national poll that suggests that our positions are not mainstream positions, overwhelmingly mainstream positions. The issue really seems to be one of priorities. The American people want immigration properly controlled and regulated. They want the laws enforced. They want to make sure the rule of law stands as a fundamental principle of the American landscape. Big business, multinationals, Wall Street, certain ethnic operatives and others seem to feel that the country should accept an amnesty program in exchange for illusory promises of future enforcement tomorrow. Illusory, like what we did before. Are we going to accept that? Oh! All right. The opposition got upset and they decided they had to try mudslinging, and that's been going on. But you know what? When you sling mud at an organization like FAIR, it's 200,000 members. You're slinging mud at people who've worked hard all their lives to try to bring about reform, people who've lost loved ones, people whose husbands are in jail for trying to defend our borders and do the right thing, victims of 9/11. Doing the right thing is doing what we're all about. Free Ramos and Campion signs, see? Okay. FAIR has put out today Immigration and National Security, a checklist of unfinished reforms. I just recommend you that attention. I'll try to get through a couple of those reforms later in the press conference, but I just want to say 9/11 is not gone forever from the public memory. It's still fresh in the minds of American people. We're not going to let the elites in this country bury the urgent priorities that need to be done. And with that, FAIR has put out a report today listing the priorities that still need to be done. If we don't pay attention to the things that need to be done...
I'd like to thank the FAIR family, Dan and his crowd, for standing up and being able to say what a lot of people were intimidated not to say, and that is, look, a middle class and the rule of law is important in America, and immigration control and deciding who and who should not be in our country is not only the federal government's jurisdiction, is a responsibility. And we not only have a right, we have a responsibility to make sure we maintain a logical, enforceable immigration policy and not abandon the concept that the rule of law in a middle class does matter in America and will be the most important legacy we pass on to the next generation.
Today, as soon as these series of votes are over, we're going to be back in the Judiciary Committee, the Committee of Jurisdiction over Immigration, and they're basically going to be trying to pass a series of mini amnesties. The worst of them being one that does it on the backs of our soldiers, sailors, and Marines. What it does is it says if you are a family member, that's mom, dad, brother, sister, cousins, children, et cetera, family related, of a soldier, sailor, or Marine, then of course we give you amnesty. Now, you know, if you think about it, you only have to get one out of about 30 members of the family to join the military, and suddenly you have amnesty. That's not why men and women put themselves in harm's way for the defense of our country. We grant citizenship in a matter of a few months to every man and woman who joins our armed forces and is willing to go into harm's way. That's where it should start, and candidly, that's where it should end.
I'm humbled today by the fact that ordinary Americans from across this country have decided to spend their time and money, considerable money, to come here to Washington to be heard, to believe in the oldest notion we have in this country, that we the people can speak and our government works for us. Raise your hand if you're that kind of person that came here. Look at all of you. Look at all of you, and let's have a round of applause for all those people who came to make sure this Congress hears from the people. This is the important thing. Not that we just talk about things, not that we just whine about stuff, not that we just get, you know, all into our little group complaining, but that we take action and we make it right. And that's what this is about. That's what these 2 days are about. Because isn't there a lot of work to do? Ramos and Compián should be free today. Employers should not be allowed to exploit working people in this country. They should be required to reserve those jobs for Americans and legal immigrants. We celebrate the legal immigrants who've come the right way, who've built a better America. We are those people.
Hey, thank you, Dan, and God bless you. Okay, I accept the nomination. Okay. Thanks, and really neat, Dan. Thank you for everything you've done and for this great organization. And kind of neat to follow Roger Hedgecock too, because you know, when you pass one of these big newspaper buildings and you look up there on the 10th story, you realize there's people behind electronically locked doors up there who every now and then venture down into the community, who are telling us what we should think pursuant to their editorial policies and their news reporting policies, those big newspapers. And then you've got guys like Roger Hedgecock, who is absolutely a leader in this country, who listen to real people and let real people express their sentiments through this thing we call talk radio, where Americans get involved in issues. And Roger, thank you for your great leadership, not only in San Diego, but throughout the country.
Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Sergeant Anita Shaw. I'm in the military, the active duty Army. I was in Baghdad, Iraq, when my son was murdered by a illegal alien gangbanger. Right now, I'm compassionate reassignment, and I'm going to let Jamel do the rest.
I'm the same way. I just got in this morning from LA, so I'm not sure what time is it, you know. But I just know I'm tired. But, you know, we always feel we got to sacrifice, you know. This time in our lives is about sacrifice, you know. It's not about being comfortable, you know. We got to get on the battlefield. And what we call get into the belly of the beast. Goal, you know, the American dream, you know, the American dream is ours first, you know, and everybody's coming, you know, they come to our country looking for the American dream, but they don't understand that we're entitled to the American dream. We're Americans, you know, and it's reality for us. When I heard those gunshots, I knew how I had this feeling in my middle of my chest. You know, that feeling never went away. When I heard those gunshots, I had this feeling. I was like, what the? Don't tell me, you know, Jazz just got shot. I couldn't believe it. And I went outside and looked, and to see that boy laying there, already dead, I mean, that is like, that's all I see. I have like a plasma screen in my head, and that's all I see, day in, day out, you know. And it's devastating, you know, in your soul. Because, you know, we love that boy so much.